Good evening, y'all. Welcome to another edition of the S.O.B Sports Report, Talking S. I'm Nick.
I'm Manny.
Thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. As always, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. Damn, that sounded kind of stuttery, didn't it, man?
And nothing wrong with that.
It's all good. But with that being said, welcome to episode 3, guys. Let's get right into it.
All right, Mr. Christian, what do you got for us?
All right, let's go into the NFL. Let's talk about the NFC West and the AFC West.
All right, Mr. Nicholas, I got this for right here, right now. All right, for the AFC West, I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning it all over again because they added Clyde Edwards from LSU, a running back that could run east to west, north and south, and catch from the backfield, handpicked by Patrick Mahomes himself. And then my sleeper team is going to be the Oakland Raiders. Fuck. I mean the newly named Las Vegas Raiders.
It's going to take some while to get used to, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all good.
Oh, it's all good. I think we're all having issues with that one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, and then the reason I'm picking him is because of Derek Carr's accuracy. He got to 70% completion ratage and a 100.8 passer rating. Now, the biggest question is, does he belong on that team? And is he a winner? And then my sleeper player is going to be from the Denver Broncos. It's going to be Jerry Jeudy, breakout receiver from Alabama. Guarantee you, he's going to be a solid number 1.
All right, Nick. What are your thoughts on the NFL?
All right, so with that being said, I just want to say really quickly, Jerry Jeudy, number 1 receiver over Cortland Sutton in Denver.
In about 2-3 years, hell yeah, he will be, but he's going to get 1,000 yards at least this season, maybe possibly 7-8 touchdowns. I'm going to push 9.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Fun facts for all the viewers listening. My 2 most hated people that walk this earth, Matt Damon and John Elway. So anything with John Elway, fuck the Broncos. Yes.
Why Matt Damon? I agree.
Oh, my God.
Fuck John Elway, but really?
Watch
Matt
The
Damon?
Martian, watch The Departed, anything with Matt Damon, fuck him. Watch him in Dogma. Nah.
He's
So with
great in that.
So with that being said, on to the NFC West. My sleeper team for sure is the Arizona Cardinals. Trading for DeAndre Hopkins has enough said. Now the receiving core receives of Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins, the young up-and-comers in Khabib Butler, and Andy Isabella. Of course, they have one of the best edge rushers in the NFL, and Chandler Jones. You got to always love him. And then you have Jordan Hicks, who's holding it down at the middle linebacker position. The best team in the NFC West this year, who I think is going to win the NFC West, is for sure the Seattle Seahawks.
Totally agree.
They have the best quarterback in the NFL, Russell Wilson. Yes, the best quarterback in the NFL, Russell Wilson. A dynamite duo in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And they added Philip Dorsett, who's an awesome number 3 receiver. Adding Jamal Adams on the other side, who's one of the best, if not the best, premier safeties in the league. It does a lot for that team right there. My breakout player as well for the NFC West, you got to go to Brandon Ayuk. He's a first-round draft pick out of Arizona State. So, no, it is not a homer pick. I'm just saying. Hear me out on this one. San Francisco 49ers. They lost Emmanuel Sanders, their true number 1 receiver. Deebo Samuel's going to be out for a few weeks. Of course, you have George Kittle, who's going to be their number 1 leader in targets. But who do you have as a number 1 true receiver? Bring in Brandon Ayuk. That man's going to kill it this year. Put money on him.
All right, guys, what's the latest in the NBA playoffs?
Well, something happened on Tuesday that hasn't happened for a while. Both number 1 seeds lost.
Hey, we're not going to hold too much weight into that, though, because the Milwaukee Bucks are my favorite to win it. Real G's move in silence like Giannis, as my man Freddie Gibbs says. And then you have Eric Bledsoe, of course. Love Bledsoe. It's my dog. I literally named my dog after him. And then coming off the bench, we have the sniper Kyle Korver. Who's your Eastern Conference favorite?
Well, my Eastern Conference favorite, I'm going to be very biased, is the Boston Celtics because I feel like they're the most complete team with 2 young stud buckets in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, led by Kemba Walker.
Don't let his jersey fool you. He is a huge Boston Celtics fan.
All right, and with that being said, see what I did there? So, what was it? The Lakers lost 100-93 on Tuesday. LeBron James had a triple-double, right? It was an empty triple-double. He got 23 points, but took him 20 shots to get it. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Speaking of Los Angeles Clippers, my Western Conference Finals team. You have PG-13 and Kawhi Leonard, of course, and they probably have one of the most stacked rosters in the whole NBA. You got Pat Beverly, of course. You have Lou Williams coming off the bench. So, Los Angeles is a fun time for basketball right now. So,
great time. Unless you're a LeBron fan.
All right, MLB baseball, what's going on?
All right, with MLB baseball going on with the outbreak of COVID, there are doubleheaders that have to be played due to rescheduled games. So, Mr. Nick, you any thoughts on this?
Oh, man, I mean, I'm quite surprised that the season's still going. It looks like the prediction on the season being canceled is not looking the sharpest right now. Hey, but that's not a bad prediction. I'm super glad that we have sports because it gives us some content to give you guys. It gives us something to talk about. There's nothing ever wrong with sports. It also gives us something to watch, which is very important. Moving on with the division leaders, of course. You have the division leaders in the AL. You have the Yankees. You have the Twins, who are, of course, my favorite to win the whole series. So let's keep going, especially look how Nelson Cruz is doing. My man is the killer at the bat right now. And then, of course, you have the Oakland A's looking there as well. And then moving on to the NL, you have the Dodgers. You have also the Cubs. Shout out to our producer, Christian. That's his favorite team as well. And then as well as the NL, for the NL East, you have the Braves. So with that, the division leaders are looking pretty solid right now. We'll see how the doubleheaders turn out. We'll see how the playoffs start to shape up. All right, y'all. So talking about some fights this weekend. Chito Vera, huge upset. Told everyone to put their underdog money on him. He landed that beautiful right knee kick at 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in the first round. It was the beginning of the end for Sean O'Malley. Those elbows just capped it off. With that being said, DC and Stipe. Stipe won on a unanimous decision, not without some controversy due to the eye pokes, but regardless, he did win a unanimous decision. Greatest heavyweight of all time. But we got to give a big love and big shout out to DC, one of the greatest combat sports athletes of all time. And quite frankly, he's only lost to the best. All of his L's are to the best of the best. Greatest heavyweight of all time, greatest fighter of all time in John Jones. Shout out to you, DC. We love you forever. In other words, speaking of John Jones, the light heavyweight title is vacant for once. This will be the first time in 10 years, y'all, that the UFC light heavyweight title will have a fight featuring not Daniel Cormier and not featuring John Jones. It's going to be Jan Blachowicz versus Dominic Reyes. I'm super excited about this fight. It's going to co-headline versus Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa as well. And then some other fight news coming up. You have Patchy Mix versus Juan Archuleta in Bellator, announced for September 12th for the 135 vacant belt in Bellator. That belt's been vacant since November. I'm really excited for that fight, and also I'm a little bit biased. Patchy Mix is my favorite fighter when it comes out of Bellator. So we're going to see. We have some exciting fights coming up.
All right, guys, how's your hockey predictions going?
Well, Nicholas, my pick looks great. The Golden Knights won their series against the Chicago Blackhawks 4-1. Sorry, Christian. Not sorry, Christian. No one cares about your feelings. Anyways, how are your picks looking?
Well, one, I actually think Christian's a Coyotes fan, just like we are. Secondly, as well, you picked one team.
And?
How proud can you be of having one pick?
Very.
Alrighty then. With that being said as well, you have the Avalanche that beat the Coyotes 4-1 in the terms of the series. The last two games actually beat them 7-1 goals. It was pretty much a dismantling. And then you have the Islanders versus the Capitals. You have the Islanders up 3-1 on the series with a chance to win and close out the series today. So we'll see how it goes, and I have strong faith that the Islanders can close it out.
All right, so in other news. So, Nick, did you see the new Space Jam jerseys?
I love them.
I hate them.
Why?
Can't go wrong with the classic white. Original Toon Squad. MJ, shitty actor though. Great, beautiful jersey though.
I feel like he sounds like an old head, one of those people that can't get back to football was tougher and better back in my day, head ass. With that being said, I really enjoy the new Space Jam jerseys. If you ever seen the movie Colors Out of Space with Nicolas Cage, gives me those vibes.
Nicolas Cage.
What? Gotta love Nicolas Cage.
He's a terrible actor.
With that
has one tone of voice.
I actually disagree. I think Nicolas Cage's definition of hit or miss. Sometimes he's over the top and sometimes he's under it. So
more on the miss.
With that being said, we're going to look into some college football. Pac-12 and the Big Ten, they both decided to cancel their football season and maybe move it to the fall at some point. I'm really curious to see how this all works out, not only for the draft stock of all the players that play in the Big Ten and also play in the Pac-12, but to see exactly how it affects the NFL season. I know speaking in episode 1, we talked about the NFL season, how it may be canceled. It's looking right now the NFL season's actually going to happen with just all the players that chose to opt out. Speaking of that, looks like it is going to happen. Fantasy football sleepers. I'm looking at a guy named Darius Slayton, wide receiver for the New York Giants. He became Daniel Jones' #1 target, and he also led the NFL in red zone targets in Week 9 through Week 17. So with that being said, be on the lookout for Darius Slayton. Who you got?
Okay, I got Dawson Knox at the Buffalo Bills. You should pick him in the 6th round in a 10-man league. He runs routes like Travis Kelce, got hands like him and everything. 23 years old, really didn't get a chance to play on the field, but this year, he should be the bona fide #1. Nick?
Oh, as well, Jonathan Taylor. If you're playing in a 12-man league, look for Jonathan Taylor. He's the #2 running back in the Indianapolis Colts. He also got drafted from the Wisconsin. I know I studied the hell out of that one, but it works out. And then we have Jonathan Taylor, though, from the Indianapolis Colts. He's a running back. He's their #2 back there. He's going to back up Marlon Mack. It's looking good. All right, y'all. So thank you guys for joining us another evening edition of the S.O.B Sports Report Talking S. As always, I'm Nick.
I'm Manny.
We really appreciate all the love. Like, subscribe, share. Give us all feedback, both positive and negative. Till next time, appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
NHL playoffs. What's
Alright.
the news?
All right, my Golden Knights that have winning the Stanley Cup.
Run that shit back.
Yeah.
What's the news? All right, Dad. Name again. What's my name again?
All right.
It's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23.
That's very
Still
true.
acting like it's freshman year. What the hell is wrong with me?
Shout out to Christian.
They say go and act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again?
You can't sing that. We don't have the rights to the song.